Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies, and I'm pretty sure this is build update number 3 of the Pontiac Firebird 400 from Revell 2-in-1 kit. Got a lot done on this thing over the past couple of days, along with stabbing the heck out of my finger. But let's break it down here, move all the guys out of the way, and we'll get into this. He just hasn't figured out that Daisy's going to get in that seat. So the engine's looking good. Oop. The interior is together. We're wired. We're decaled. The rims are ready, and the front bumper is painted. So let's break it down here. First things first, let's start with this big old 400 engine. Made a quick video. I don't know if it's going to be long or not. I think this is going to be a pretty quick video on me wiring this thing up. I geeked out enough to where the firing order is right. You can take a screenshot and check it out yourself if you don't trust me. But I even went as far as to draw it all up and do it the right way for a change. So it's looking good. I made sure I had gravity following everything out. We got our heater hose in. We got our crankcase vent in. We got our dipstick in. Yeah, I didn't forget it this time. We have our sensing line in. We have our fuel line run down to the pump. Our heater hose is drilled out to go the other way. So this engine is pretty well ready to drop. I even did linkage on here to come up to show where I can't remember the pump name for the front of the Rochester. I didn't add a fuel line in line. I was going to, but these Rochester had a little fuel line, or a fuel filter. The Rochesters had a little built-in fuel filter, nice copper one that was easy to pull out and clean. So I didn't add anything to it that wasn't necessary, but everything laid down nice on this engine, and it looks really good. I did panel line everything. I panel lined the transmission. I panel lined the engine, not to dirty it up, but to highlight things. And you can really tell, like on that water pump, you can really tell the detail in there. So now the only thing that left for this is to get dropped in the chassis, and that won't be long now. So I haven't done much with the chassis because I've been spending all my time right here with what you see in front of you. My interior, I didn't glue this in yet because I want to make sure where the glass lays on here. So what I'll do is I'll leave this loose, get the glass mounted in the body. I'll put this up and just kind of figure out exactly where that's going to lay. I'll pull it back out and I'll glue it on either side here. But check out that interior. Buddy, they got some good detail in here. I used the decals for the burl wood. Here, I can pull this out. Used the decals for the burl wood. It worked out real good. But what I did is, because I still wanted those 3D knobs on the radio, and what I did is I took my pin vise, and it worked out to be this drill bit right here, and I drilled a hole where the knobs were in the decal. So when the decal went down over the top, the knob stood proud out through it. And that worked out really good. I was nervous about doing that. I never did that before, but it did work out really well. The steering wheel, they did have a decal for it, but that was prominent enough to where I painted the silver, the Pontiac emblem silver, and then painted the black around it. And when the silver was dry, I came back in with some clear red and just brighten that Pontiac emblem up. The vents, I painted black and then just went over the top of them with chrome silver. I chrome silver the turning signal. This thing was just a peg that came straight out. So I used my file and I filed that down to where it had a little bit of a contour to it. It looked bad. Really, the only detail in this whole thing that wasn't up to snuff. So it only took me a minute or two to file it down. I used my little round end file so I didn't go in too far and knock that out. It came out good. The steering wheel, I painted, it was all painted tan, and then I came in with my real tiny brush and I painted the chrome around the horn buttons. So that worked out really well too. So the dash is awesome. The seats, I posted a video today on how I weathered the seats. Next time I do it, I'll work a lot harder to keep everything in frame. The decal laid down nice. One thing about this decal is it is long and it curves over the back and it's wide. So what you'll have to do is once you get it rolled over the back, is take your X-Acto knife, and that's how I stabbed myself. Take your X-Acto knife and cut in the corners, like on an angle this way, so that that'll fold and they'll wrap around it. And then everything can form, because it was not going to make that corner. That would have been a huge wrinkle there. And I was afraid that looking through the door, you'd be able to see that wrinkle. The gauge, I just left that to tan, painted chrome, and then dropped the gauge down on top. Can't remember if that's a gauge or a vent. I never had one of those like that in my car. The Sick Chicken decals, they do have them for the doors. I didn't use them. I opted out because out of everywhere on this car that you'd see those, that's the least. So I painted those in, and what I did is I painted the red first, and then I came back and dry brushed over top of that red to highlight the chrome. And the reason why I did that is because on the back of this, the decal is called for the smaller decal, but the outline for the decal is the larger one, like what's supposed to go in the door. What they're calling for is the ones that go in the front quarter panels. So this shows up a whole lot more than that does. So that's why I opted to paint those. It didn't take that long. It really didn't. There's enough detail edge lines where I was able to get away with it. And like I said, looking through the windows, you're never even going to see them. But like I say, I know they're there. So, and they did come out pretty darn good. I'm really happy with them. That leather look is just pre-shading, then the tan, and then 2 coats of quick shine, and then a wash with my brown panel liner. Wiped it off almost all the way, dabbed in the bottom where everything pools, and then left them dry. And see how much of a difference that makes compared to the vinyl on the sides and the carpet down below. Now the vinyl on the sides, all I did was quick shine that after I painted it the tan and then detail painted it. But the carpet, other than the matte, I left flat. And between that, the quick shine darkened the tan up, as like in the back here. This is quick shined, this part is not. And I did this to show, when I did my video here, what we're doing right now, is how much darker the quick shine will make your color. So if you want to go subtle changes, like from the carpet to the vinyl, you can get away with the flat and then quick shined on, and that is more than enough to give it that carpet look. So the interior is rocking. I mean, I couldn't ask for it to have come out any better than it did. No kidding. The detail in here was great, and it stuck out enough to where I was able to paint it or use my little silver gel pen that I got on Amazon. Link is down below for everything I'm using here, including the Mobius 0.2 millimeter airbrush. Man, watch that video where I airbrushed these. When I did the wash, I got it out of frame, but when I was doing the pre-shading, that 0.2 millimeter airbrush just rocked. And I brag a lot about those airbrushes, but that's why. Watch that video and you'll see what I mean. So there's the interior from that. While everything else was in process, I laid down the decals. Let me pop this engine, or this hood off. I'm looking at the engine. Put the decal in for the tack. And somebody told me that the tack in here, when Lordstown was pumping these out, that tack was the most stolen thing that they ever had. And I wish I had one. I would have probably gangstered one too if I was working there. The 400 decals did not lay down nice. If you're going to use the 400 decals, sand off the script. I didn't. I thought they would match up, and they're just enough off to look bad. So I ended up hand painting those as best I could. And just with my glasses, I think they look great. I haven't done the black on the inside yet because I haven't gotten out my acrylic paint. And that's the only reason. I have some touch-ups to do on the chassis, and when I do that, I'll do this too. All the panel liners, I've been using my old 0.7 millimeter Unison. This thing's got to be 10, 15 years old. Mechanical pencil. It's just a number 2 lead, and I just run it in the panel lines, and I like it. I like it a lot. It's subtle enough to not really jump out at you, but dark enough to look the part. So I'm happy with that. The decals went down fantastic. I sanded the script off here, along with the trunk. I sanded the Pontiac and the 400 off of there. I did not sand the Sick Chicken off of the front on either side, and I didn't sand the Pontiac off because I wanted those to stand proud a little bit, and I was just hoping that they would lay in right. Even the chrome decals in the vents went in really nice. I opted out of using the decals for the keys. I'm not worried about that. I can sharpen this and make a line inside that chrome, and that'll be good. I am going to do the trim here. This part I'll use my probably use my Sharpie marker, but this I'll bare metal foil, and then we'll see what we do with the chrome on that. And these, these I want to paint black first and then come back in and paint them. So I just haven't gotten to that point yet. But I wanted to get the decals on so that I could drop another coat of quick shine over the top and lock them in before I got too far in here. But they really came out good. The hood, I'm satisfied with the 400 on there. That's as best I can do with a sharpened toothpick, and that's as tight of a mark as I had. Again, the trunk, I just painted the latch and dropped the bigger Sick Chicken from the interior on the back. So I cleaned these out the best I can. I'm hoping that I can get the chrome around the clear, because it's not on the panel, it's on the lens. So that's why there's no chrome there, and there's not gonna be. So there we go with that. And this and the other thing, I want to show you my rims and my front bumper. We'll grab the bumper because it's out first. Inside here was a plastic aluminum filler in the cars. So I painted that aluminum, and I hate painting chrome. I really do. It's one of the things that just I never get a good flow. But this flat aluminum flowed in there really nice, and it sure looks the part. The last thing I'll do is I'll put that decal right here. I'm not going to do that until this is mounted to the car, because I'm going to probably use my thumb right there to push that on, and I know that decal would end up right there. So that's where we are there. The mirror looks good. I don't think in 68 this was black. I think that was still chrome, and I'll have to look. I can't remember when they switched over to where you had to have a black mirror. Now for the rims. These bad boys took me a while. Again, I hate painting chrome, but you know, the Firebird had that darkened out on the insides of them, and what I did is I just used my dark gray. Oh, it's a big stretch. That's not even it. Because I didn't put it away, that's why. Just dark gray XF24. I didn't want to use flat black because I think that would have just been too much. So I used the dark gray, and I'm glad I did, because that looks really good. I floated it in there, and then I took a toothpick when it was done and knocked off the chrome on the lugs. So those went really, really well too. My front suspension, got a little paint job on it, a little detail work here and there. My battery is behind me, just a second. I painted the clamps for the battery cables. I got battery cables in. They still need painted. I didn't have time because the glue wasn't dry when I painted everything else. But I wanted to make mention of the caps. Every time I do them, they just don't really show up. You know, you put the red in there and the red just blends in with the black and it's gone. So what I wanted to do, so the black didn't overtake the red, is this time I painted those all with chrome silver first. Let it dry, or I'm sorry, flat aluminum first. Same as I did with the cable clamps. And let that dry, and then I came back with just a dab of red on each one of them, and now that's the way they should look. I'm happy with that. For the first time, I'm happy with how these batteries gonna look. Still got to decal it. I had everything set up. I even had the warm water going and forgot. So I'll get that. I still have the decals to do on the rims. Like I said, I won't do those either until they're on the tires. And I'm debating on whether or not to put white walls on these tires. So we'll see what happens there. I'll play around with the rim. I'll drop a rim on first and look at it with the chrome. I'm not sure if the white walls will look good with that chrome or not. I know Jim Rockford had white walls on his, so we might go with that. But again, he didn't have the Formula 400 hood either. So with that, I got a bunch of little detail work done. My exhaust is finally to the point to where I'm happy with it. Like I said, when I do my exhaust, I'll paint it. I'll clean the panel lines or the mold lines, and then I'll paint it. And then I'll come back and I'll do all the mold lines that I missed, and then I'll paint it, and then I'll do it again. And then, like I said, this took 3 times to get it to where I don't see any mold lines in there. So we're good to go there. These are good to go. So now it'll be time to jump on the chassis. I also took my brakes, my master cylinder, and it had that metal bracket going all the way across the top, molded in, and it just looked poor. So I sanded that off, sanded down in the middle, got everything out of the way, and then I painted it just to see how it looks, and I'm happy with that. I'll drill 2 holes in there, and we'll use our 0.3 millimeter solder to do that. And then the last thing is the radiator hoses. They did a good job with these. So I was able to paint the clamps in. And I think that'll look good, even though I really suck at getting the lower radiator hose in. At least it'll be painted right. So with that, I will let you go. Here's the Pontiac in the back of the skirt for the back of the bumper. And we are out of here for tonight. So you all have a great day, a better tomorrow, and a fantastic week. And thank you again for watching.